The old blanket weight distribution trick that sealed heat in through the longest nights. Cold nights were a constant enemy for people who lived without central heating, foam mattresses or synthetic insulation. What they relied on instead was control of weight and pressure, not thickness alone. Before we get into it, if you value historically grounded survival knowledge like this, take a second to subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles and like the video. This channel exists for people who want practical lessons pulled straight from the past, not modern marketing myths. Now, let's get straight to it. The principle was pressure management, not piling on more blankets. Historical bedding systems across Europe and early America use fewer blankets than most people expect, but they were arranged with deliberate weight placement. The goal was to stop warm air from pumping out every time the sleeper shifted. When a blanket is evenly heavy across the body, especially along the edges, it acts as a seal. Warm air stays trapped in a stable layer instead of escaping through gaps at the shoulders, hips and feet. This is the same principle used in cold-weather field bivouacs centuries later. Edge weighting was, the key detail that most modern sleepers just miss. Old households often folded the top blanket so more material rested along the sides and foot of the bed. This created downward pressure right where heat loss is greatest. Cold air, it enters from the edges, not the center. By concentrating weight along the perimeter, they really reduce those convection currents under the covers. You can actually apply this today by folding a wool or heavy cotton blanket lengthwise before placing it on top, making sure extra mass rests along both sides of your body and over the feet. Layer order, honestly, mattered more than blanket count. The heaviest blanket was never placed directly against the body. A lighter linen or cotton layer came first to manage moisture, followed by a medium insulating layer, and only then the heavy top blanket for compression. This prevented sweat build-up, which, robs heat faster than cold air. If you want to replicate this with modern materials, well, use a breathable sheet, a wool blanket for insulation, and a heavier wool or quilted cover on top, strictly for weight, not warmth. Controlled compression stabilized body heat through movement. Historical accounts from soldiers, farmers, and travelers consistently note that shifting at night caused cold wakes unless the bedding was properly weighted. Distributed weight reduced air exchange when turning over. You can test this yourself by placing a folded blanket across your midsection and hips rather than spreading it flat. You'll notice fewer cold drafts when you move, especially in unheated rooms. Feet were treated as a critical heat loss point. Extra folds or, a double blanket section were tucked over the foot area, sometimes weighted with clothing. This stopped warm air from flushing out the bottom of the bed. Today, simply folding the lower third of your top blanket back onto itself can, replicate this effect without adding another layer. This wasn't about comfort, it was about thermal discipline. Weight, placement and compression kept people warm through winters that honestly would overwhelm many modern setups. If this kind of grounded historical survival knowledge matters to you, Subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles, like the video, and share it with others who respect real tested methods. This is how old knowledge stays alive.